Alright, so we are at Afton State Park in Hastings, Minnesota. For the most part, we might actually be in Washington County. The Hastings, Minnesota is in Dakota County. But it says the address here is for Hastings, Minnesota. So we'll roll with that. And we're right by the visitor center here, which is near the parking area for the backpack and the hiking campsites. And we're gonna do a little bit of a hike here. Technically this is the winter season, however there really isn't any snow right now. So what we're gonna do on this one is we're gonna go for a hike. Now I am in the process of scouting the camper cabins, the yurts, and the 2 group campsites that are kind of clustered together over that way. But I kind of wanted to also do a hike as well. So we're going to do a hike. Take a really long roundabout way to get to those. We're going to try to check out this Deer Valley Loop right here. And then when the hike is completed, we're going to head back in that direction. And then I'll cut it and I'll do another one of the scouts for the aforementioned. They look like they had some nice camper cabins over there. Look like the standard that you'd see at most Minnesota state parks. One thing I noticed though was they had a couple carts there, kind of as like a courtesy. But in addition to that, I also saw a couple sleds, and I've never seen that before. Never seen sleds, so I thought that that was pretty awesome, because those would really come in handy if there was a lot of snow. I don't know if the cabins, the yurts, and the group camps are open year-round, but some of them might be, based on the fact that they actually have some sleds in there, courtesy sleds. So we're already, I'm using the Avenza Maps app as always. We're already getting rolling here on this trail. We're gonna go down the trail here. I'm gonna meander this way over towards AQ intersection, Alpha Query, and then down this trail. We're gonna go around the Deer Valley Loop and then head back up on the other side. And then we're going to actually brake on at D. We're going to brake and keep going straight and make a shortcut to head on over to those group camps, camper cabins, and yurts. And I'll scout though. I'll clip that, put in another video. Just keep them separate. I'll probably put something in the end that you can check out as a courtesy. There's probably like 7 people interested in what I do at this point. It used to be like 3 or 4 for about a year and a half. So it's growing, things are growing a little bit. I'm kind of proud of that. I don't partake in any beggary in any shape, form, or fashion. And unfortunately, it seems humans require that you beg them or tell them what to do in order for them to do it. With that being said, just kind of here to go on a hike, check things out. Good old Afton State Park. try to relax. The last time I was here, I was leaving from my 100th camp trip. Pretty sure that was the last time I was here. And my very first camp trip was here as well. And that was back in 2022. My first camp trip, April Fool's Day. My 100th camp trip was here, April Fool's Day as well, 2025. So it took about 3 years to weasel in 100 camp trips in a practical, non-forced manner. A little aggressive. I'd say the temperature is unseasonably warm. There's possible rainfall. We already had some rain earlier. It's supposed to rain here and through the end of the night. Rainfall. I got some rain over gear on me. But yeah, it's 53 degrees. So I just got the tank top on and the pack with my gear on it, and then the chest rig. But we got till about 6 p.m. until the sun sets. Oh yeah, and for what it's worth, Afton Alps, it's just over there, the ski slopes. I'm right by the city of Afton, which is a nice, quaint, bourgeois city. I kind of wish I could live there. That might be possible one day. Unlikely though. But we'll see. There's some airplane action around here, which isn't too aggressive. As we were rolling in here, I'm gonna probably use the same intro footage for the hike and the scout, or I might not. Either way, I'll show you the deer we saw on the way in here. That was kind of cool. Usually I'm not a big fan of when deer really commit to running across a road when there's cars coming, but this time I was a fan of it so I could capture it. And the area we are hiking now, I've never really been this part of the park other than through it with the drive-through, the road that goes through here. But I've never hiked in this area. A lot of nooks and crannies I haven't really seen with boots on the ground. And I just kind of decided to do this today at work. It's kind of a spur of a moment. Getting a little too serious at work like I always do. Got this problem with I judge other people's work ethics or their lack of it. I don't like it when people don't do anything and they let other people work for them and they know what they're doing and they don't feel guilty for doing it. They have like no empathy for it. Really rips me up. I'm not perfect, but I'm not gonna just blatantly, overtly take advantage of other people who are hard workers, have a good work ethic, just because I know they'll do it. It's disgusting. Yeah, I'm just trying to take a step back from being too serious. So far it's going pretty good. I like how the sun isn't too aggressive. It's just behind the clouds. The light's nice and dispersed evenly. And it is very much like spring right now, though we're definitely not through winter yet. Winter will more than likely return in spurts. We have probably another handful of pretty cold days ahead of us until the end of April here in Minnesota. There's another view of Afton Alps here. We're approaching an intersection. It's probably going to be above freezing for another week or so. Yeah, as of right now, we're looking at the 60s this Sunday. And no sign of it really. We might have a little snow next week, allegedly, next weekend. But still, the temperature's gonna go above 32 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, let's see where we're at here. This intersection, AP, Alpha Priority. It's right here. Now this shows my location and it points me. It's hard to see the little arrow on it, but it points me where I'm facing. So it kind of helps me know where to go. I get disoriented really easy, even with a map in my face and everything. So this will take us back the other way we came, parallel towards the backpack sites. And this will take us in the direction we're looking to go. And this area here is called Prairie Restoration. That's one thing I wanted to hike around, was the Prairie Restoration here at Afton State Park. I'm getting really good nostalgic yet present vibes. You don't want to have too much nostalgia, because nostalgia is like bait. Sadness and depression uses that to bait you. It uses nostalgia to bait you into capturing you. So you don't want too much nostalgia. It's good to have just enough to make you feel good, but you want to live in the present, live in the here and now. And too much looking forward to the future makes you anxious. It's good to be in the present. So this might be a more long roundabout way. I'm definitely down for that. So it'd be nice if it didn't rain while we're doing this. However, it doesn't really matter. But I kind of like my current setup, what I'm wearing. Everything feels good. Don't have to wipe the lens from all the rain. And just recording and doing this stuff and editing, really, it's good for my mental health. And of course, being out here is good for the exercise physically. I put back, today I'm using my 3 seasonal boots, which can be used in the winter as well. However, they're mainly, I kind of dedicated them to spring, summer, and fall. These ones down here. So I busted those out for this. And the insoles, the felt wool insole that I use at the bottom of them, I put thick wool socks around that as well for cushioning and padding and absorption. And actually I had 2 pairs of wool socks around each of the insoles, one on each foot. And that was a little too much, because these boots are one size smaller than my winter ones, the ones that I've dedicated specifically for winter. There's a lot more padding and insulation essentially. So I took one sock off of each insole. So it's just a felt wool insole with one heavyweight wool sock around it, one on each foot, and that's working perfectly. Got enough room to wiggle my toes around. And I got some brand new wool socks in the mail last night. They're not as the circumference of them isn't as big as I would hope they would be, but they feel great. Brand new wool socks, brand new wool everything usually is just phenomenal. So it looks like we're going to be going down here. This is a substantial down decline. Mud's kind of serious here, so there's the risk of slipping. I'm probably going to be kicking up mud on the back of my legs, and I just love it when I do that. And I'm not slated to change these pants for probably another week or so, and I just love having the mud on the back of my pant legs. And I sleep in my pants and everything, you know. I'm gonna change my underwear, of course, but I don't. I keep the same pants worn. I'm very aggressive on making sure there's no odor, but I usually wool underwear, which is kind of bourgeois, I know, but that really mitigates odor issues. And I tend to the personal care somewhat aggressively. So this is getting a little crazy, partially dangerous. I gotta watch out here. The ice, yeah, it's a little crazy. There's nothing for me to grab onto. You know, it's possible we might run into those deer that we saw coming in here, because we're kind of headed in that direction, in that vicinity. So this ice is a little bit of a curveball. It will slow us down. That's kind of a nice little stream there. We had a really thick, dense fog a couple days ago that lasted almost all day. The visibility was really, really tight. Couldn't see too far at all. So I've never been to this part of this park before. I kind of didn't really want to just oversaturate my experience at this park. I kind of wanted to stretch out certain aspects of it over the years. But today seemed like the day for this area. And scouting the camper cabins and the yurts and the group camps, since they're all right together, do them all at once. That wasn't something that was really on the top of my list here at Afton State Park. And I do have an in-depth scout of the backpack sites. Footage a little shaky because that was earlier when I started doing this, and now I put the cam on the boonie hat, so I have better stability. It's still a little shaky, I know. But either way, on that one you can see every single backpack site see exactly what it looks like. You see the entire hike in from parking, everything. So that'll really help you prepare and decide which site is right for you. And I also have a dedicated scout of the hike-in site, which is, in my opinion, the best campsite at Afton State Park. What do they call it? Hike-in 1. I don't know why they call it Hike-in 1, because there is only one. But that is probably the easiest hike-in of all the sites that are in the backpack area. And I'm not sure why they don't consider it a backpack site, because it kind of is. But with that one, you don't have to go up that dreaded hill to get to the top of the bluff where the campsites are. Once you get down, you kind of just go straight and just, that's pretty much it. There are some stairs when you get there, but that is an awesome, that's one of my top favorite sites of all time. The Hike-in 1 site at Afton State Park. This state park that we're in. They even got a little treasure trove of firewood at the entry point. Now with the backpack sites, you kind of have to saw the wood that you have there. You have a bunch of wood, but you have to saw it and carry it back. But at the Hike-in site 1, they have this little treasure trove just full of your standard firewood bundles that you'd see everywhere, grocery stores, etc. And you can pay for them there with some kind of Yodel app or something, or you can just pay for them at the park in the entry. The ranger station. Nice and quiet. So it is kind of a desolate, drab time of year to be hiking around here. But this is a really close state park to the cities. So if you're gonna be here in the summer, fall, late spring, there's gonna be a lot of people. I mean, to a certain extent. That's kind of another reason why I was like, today's probably a good day to come out here. It's supposed to be rainy too. Just get a lot of social anxiety. That's why I prefer to not encounter people if I don't have to. Something going on over here. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not going to investigate it either. It doesn't look natural. Now I'm feeling some sprinkles. We're by the road here, obviously. I'm feeling some sprinkles, so we might have some rain action engaging very shortly. I'm not going to put the rain over pants on unless it gets substantial. They are Gore-Tex, so they will not breathe well. I think we're near that bridge we crossed to get over here. Ooh, I should probably check where I'm at. Okay, so we are converging towards where the Deer Valley Loop would be, which is just past the road here. I should probably be vigilant with the wipers. Oh, this is cool. I didn't know that there was going to be an underpass at the bridge here. Oh, that is awesome. Even be a nice little area to kind of stop and put your gear on if it started raining real bad. There is an airplane. Oh, this is really cool. I like this. A little drabby, but that's okay. Got that nice tar smell to it. Pretty well covered, a little drippy. Here we got a little decision point here. And we're going to stay to the right here, it looks like. I'm going to track, make sure I'm on the right path that I want to go with. Got to get over here a little bit. It's a nice, reasonable water crossing. I got a hike of Judge C.R. Magny State Park, Gothier Trail, and there's a water crossing there that was a little risky. So this should be the trail. It looks like there's one further to the right though, so I'm thinking there's actually one on the road, but it doesn't matter. This will go around the loop and then meander around back the other side, so we're all good. I don't want to walk on that road or be close to it anyways. Down there. I thought the road was going to be up here. They're actually higher than the road over here. I should probably try to weasel in a camp trip here in the summer this year on the backpack sites. That was kind of a tradition of mine for a couple years, and then I broke from it. Just kind of wanted to pivot a little. It's not always good to cling to traditions. They can kind of enslave you. So it's good to be flexible and malleable. Sometimes, not always, but it seems like most of the time is the best move. Hunker down some stuff in my pockets here. Make sure nothing's clanking. Getting a little moist out. I didn't bring a backup tank, which I probably should have. I didn't do that last time when I was scouting Cipher-Tu State Park backpack sites last month. That was only a couple weeks ago. That was my first venture of 2026. And it was a really good one. So by the time you see this, I'm more than likely going to have those backpack sites the scout of those backpack sites at Mille Lacs Casio State Park available. If you like backpack sites, you should really check those out. All of those backpack sites were absolute winners. You should check it out if you want to see what my personal favorite one ended up being in the end. But yeah, all 4 of the backpack sites in Mille Lacs Casio State Park, you camp at any one of them really. There's only one of them where I might, you know, maybe no. But 3 of them there are just top of the line backpack sites. The hike in, the atmosphere, the ambiance, everything. It's total winners. I can't see that vehicle. We're right by the road. No, this is a pretty steady mist, but I'm sweating so much anyways. And underneath my durable outer layer pants, I have lightweight merino wool thermals. So that'll help with moisture absorption and with insulating as well, even if they get wet, still insulate pretty well. But you got to kind of know when to draw the line. Hey buddy. I really like this area here. This is super cool. It's kind of reminding me of something. I'm trying to put a finger on it. I think it was a part of Wild River State Park actually, which is right along the St. Croix River as well, further north. I have a scout of the backpack sites there as well. And that's a long one. It shows the hike into all the sites from parking. It shows what the sites look like. It's a little shaky, and I do fast forward it, which can be annoying, but I'm pretty sure I time-stamped everything, so you can go right to the sites to take a look at them. Wild River State Park Scout. And I got the main campground scouted as well on another video. Gotta remember to use that Merlin bird ID this time. I missed an opportunity at Mille Lacs Casio State Park. I'm pretty sure it was a hawk. It's definitely a crow. If I put that shell layer on, I'm gonna sweat a lot. So I'm gonna have moist legs no matter what. See how close this vehicle is. Okay, there. Okay. I'm really glad I got to check out this part of the park. It looks like the trail we're going to be taking back when we loop around. I can't dawdle too much. Looks like somebody might have slipped right there. Ooh. Wow. Someone else had the same idea. Yeah, pretty muddy and crazy, sliding. You know, a lot of times what I'll do at home when I'm working on stuff on a computer or something, I'll just have like a video going of someone camping. Hold that thought. Yeah, I'll just have like a video going of someone camping or something like this, and just kind of keeps me company, keeps me I don't know, I get like a sad, lonely feeling sometimes. It just kind of creeps on you. But it helps with that. So if you're in the same predicament, welcome. Thank you for your visit. Thank you for being here. Hope you're able to tune out outside distractions and stay focused on whatever you're doing. So we got a little trail here. I'm not sure why. So I'm kind of hoping the mist is going to stop. I'm definitely starting to get wet in the legs. Oh, so those Excel Energy trucks found a way to be annoying twice. That's good. And there's two of them, so it's a quadruple threat. But they should be gone now. Probably couldn't hear them anyways. Alright, so I like this part. This is really cool. Intersection C. Okay. I'm okay with my top getting wet, my top part of my body. I got the pack and the chest rig as well. But I don't know if I want the legs to get too wet. I'll go a little longer, a little more. We'll focus on the winter now. You are here. We are right here. So B intersection start, but there's another part up here. B intersection long. I see. So here's a B. It probably goes to this short, and this is the long. So we're definitely taking the long. Speaking of long, I used to know a guy called Long Lee. He's a Hmong guy. He's a pretty cool guy. We used to work together at Jimmy John's in Highland Park, where all the idiotic, hyper-privileged, spoiled, bratty college kids infest. At St. Thomas and St. Kate's, St. Catherine's. If you got money to go to that school, any of those schools, you have money to tip your driver. Even if you lie to yourself and say you don't. One time I was delivering a pizza, and the girl I was delivering to she's about to give me a tip, and this guy, he had to be a college guy. He took the money from her and said, they get mileage. I couldn't believe it. And these people were not they weren't desperate for money. I could not believe it. Sure, there's a few college kids that are all right. There's always hope, right? So I really like this area here. This is cool. Yeah, that's cool. It's definitely getting wet. You know, there's a new pizza place I'm considering checking out after this mission. I'm looking forward to it. Can't tell you which one. And a couple weeks ago I actually had a Carboni's, which is something I haven't had in decades. You know, I wasn't too impressed with it, to be honest. They got this like cracker thin crust, which is okay, I guess, but if you got too many toppings, it kind of sticks to the box. I don't know. I actually prefer Pizza Man over the Carboni's. I couldn't believe it. I guess you pay about the same either way. There's a deer stand up there, blind. So the only problem I have with getting wet is having to wipe the lens and but being uncomfortable. So I guess it's not that big of a deal. I'm uncomfortable all day long in various other ways anyways. So I have the tenacity for the most part. I remember when I first saw that word, it was on a calendar, like an inspiration calendar, and the word of the month was tenacity. And I remember I did not know how to say it. Like a lot of places I go, I don't say them right, obviously, to some know-it-alls. But yeah, I pronounce it tenacity. And I'm like, God, it's such a stupid word. It sounds so stupid. Tenacity. And like a year or two or three later, whenever I figured out how to say it, tenacity flows really well. It's a really nice sounding word. It's something you want to have. It's part of your character. So we got some stuff going on here. Some really, really nice wood management. This has got to be private property. That blind that I saw up there too. That is cool. And it's got various places where they're seasoning wood, it looks like. Yep. Private property. I did it. I saw one private property sign that said, "Stay healthy, stay out." Oh, this is really cool. This kind of gives me an Interstate State Park vibe, which is also along the St. Croix, just north from here. It's probably the next state park north of here. No, William O'Brien. That as well. Oh, and by the way, I have a planned scout of both those campgrounds at William O'Brien State Park on St. Patty's Day of this year. So hopefully that goes well. I tried to do the same thing a year ago and I ended up having to bail because one of the campgrounds was closed for construction, and then this park ranger was just really watching me. I got a video of that, and people don't like it at all. I thought it was kind of interesting because I turned a negative into a positive and went and scouted Wild River State Park. Some people said I was paranoid, but they said in all caps, so you know what that means from an IQ standpoint when they have to yell at you. It's got kind of like a boomer vibe from it too. So this year I'm going to try to hit the redemption. And something about doing William O'Brien on St. Patrick's Day, something about it just seems right. But it's kind of an aggressive scout. There's the Riverway Campground, which is recently fixed up. That was like a 2-year project. Those knuckleheads really dragged that out. And then the main campground, I think it's the Savannah Campground, I'm not sure, but that is a big one. It's over 100 sites. So I'm gonna have to work my way through that one. If I can get the whole thing, both campgrounds done in like within 5 hours. And if you know me, you know I don't really edit much. I like to show almost every inch, because it's mainly for informational purposes. I want to help people plan and prepare the hike and everything. But it's something I kind of wished, something I kind of looked for when I started doing it. So then I started getting out here and just checking it out, and then I'm like, hey, it's gonna make sense to do it in a way that I could show others. Then it'd be like a win-win. I'd always have access to the footage I would need, and other people could too. And then, well, you know, when how often airplanes fly by when you're trying to enjoy yourself. There's the deer. Yeah, this rain's getting a little aggressive. So I'm gonna go ahead and plop the at least the rain over trousers on. Look at the Gore-Tex. I think this is the Digicam, which isn't the best, but these are mainly my winter ones. I didn't go back to the spring ones because I kind of wanted the length on these. These are the longer ones. I'm gonna try to put these on now. I got these on eBay from someone who was nice enough to give me positive feedback right away instead of waiting to ensure that I gave them feedback. That was kind of neat. Though I don't recommend you do that. Just gotta make sure I cuff them over the boot as well, because you do not want rocks. That's a big deal when you're hiking. Rocks and dirt getting in your boots or your shoes. It is so annoying when that happens. That used to happen to me all the time, but then I started getting more clever at preparing. Like this. There we go. And these are the long ones also, so they should stay hunkered in. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna have to walk a little slower. Gotta make sure it's zipped back up. Sometimes I forget. Tighten the strap around the waist as well. Okay. I kind of like it. when the pack gets wet or gets snowed on. I think it's cool. I used to think I needed some kind of like a poncho over it or a backpack cover. Nope. The packs that I have, they usually take water pretty well. My big concern though is my big rucksack, because it would get a lot heavier, and it's already too big for me. I'm a little guy. But I can ruck groceries if I need to. I can ruck water. Alright, so I don't have to worry about the legs anymore, except for the sweat. Like Josh Enyart would say, just don't sweat. Which is impossible for me. I think it's because I drink so much coffee, and that's a diuretic. And these Gore-Tex rain-over trousers, it sounds like a fully loaded diaper. There's one army guy, he's called Grunt Proof. On YouTube, he said he's walking through a village wearing them once, and it just, people were like looking out their windows trying to figure out what that loud sound was. And then he continued to say, if like troops or anybody's really doing something serious where they got to be really stealth, they're not even going to wear them because they're too loud. So I guess every situation's different. But the rain over Gore-Tex is really good for an outer shell for cold weather if you're not moving around much. So very little movement. It's a winter. Yeah, I'm almost getting a Camden State Park vibe when I was there, when I hiked to the prairie pools. I got a video of that as well, but that one's a little loud from the wind. Now, that helped me improve my skills as well. That's before I had a pop filter on here. I had to make my own. Essentially, I use Velcro hook and loop, the loop part of the Velcro, the soft part, and I put a little hole through it so the audio waves the sound waves can get through it, and that has been a total game changer. Really like this tree here, the leaves. This rain is pretty persistent. It's just a subtle mist. Alright, so we're getting around that loop. This back end part of the trail went a little quicker than I thought it would. Should be the St. Croix around this way. Double check. Yep, St. Croix River that way. Yeah, so the St. Croix River here, it's about to end. It's on its way to, I believe it's called Point Douglas Park. And that's where it converges with the Mississippi, and the Mississippi then takes on the name of that body of water as it continues down south. Now, they claim that Gore-Tex is breathable, but it isn't. It's overwhelmed extremely easy. So if you're moving in them or doing any kind of activity, you will overwhelm them and you will be wet from sweat. Everybody's different, I know. Take it with a grain of salt. But another thing is sometimes you hear they put Gore-Tex on footwear, and that, I've heard from people who are kind of in the know, that is a very, very bad idea. You're just asking for foot fungus, and I don't know, some guy had something. And this guy at Wiggy's, he was telling this guy who worked at Wiggy's, they make sleeping bags and stuff like that. And he was like, well, what kind of footwear do you wear? And the guy was like, well, Gore-Tex. He's like, well, that's your problem. You gotta have breathability in your feet. There are situations, of course, where you need it to be waterproof. But just having Gore-Tex on your feet as a staple all the time is probably a really bad idea. So if you have foot problems and that's your footwear, you might want to seek alternate options and see how that goes. It's a really gray, miserable day, in a good way. I was getting really serious at work when I try to cheer myself up with planning this little mission here, and it really I think it was a really good idea to do that. Put me in a better place mentally. I know you can't change other people, but I just wish some people you could inspire them, like they had some kind of self-dignity. Or a lot of people, though, they're just so high on like weed, it just dumbs them down and makes them okay with being complacent and bored and not evolving or growing or iteratively improving, just kind of staying where they are. And it's just really disgusting. Though I was guilty of that myself, probably almost 2 or 3 decades, maybe, probably 2. But it's just so disgusting. At least that's how I look at it now. But to have like people that are like in their 50s and their 60s just chain smoking weed, it's like be something. Like what are you doing? You didn't grow out of that? You know, it's kind of weird. It's just real depressing, because you expect people older than you to kind of be more legends. I really like this spot here. To kind of be more warriors, people you can look up to and learn from. Not just a bunch of high dunces, you know. I really like this area though. Another one is cigarette smoking. Like, I cannot believe it. You'd think it's still the 90s the way people smoke, with how much they are and how bad it is for you. And I smoked a lot. But I'm just saying though, it's like, man, like if you're over 50, what are you doing at this point in your life? Why are you smoking cigarettes? What are you doing? And then they got that. I know I'm getting a little negative, but then they got that with the Mountain Dew. Oh my God, you're killing me here. You're killing me. Mountain Dew and cigarettes. And there's people I like that have kind hearts that do that. I'm sorry. But it's just, I just don't get it. Wow, this is a really cool area right here. Oh, I like it. We got some wind coming down. The picture doesn't do it justice. There comes the rain. I'm already kind of sweating enough on the top as it is. And I do have a merino wool base layer hoodie. So I can slap that on when everything's said and done. I need to tone up my upper body just a little bit because I'm one of those guys that just gets love handles really easily, and I just hate it. And I almost, even if I lose all the weight I need to, and I'm skinny everywhere, I'd still have like fat, chubby love handles, and I just wish I could cut them off and leave them at a bus station or something, you know? Leave them at a bus stop. It's just, that's one of the things where you're just like, God, what is wrong with your brain, God? Why would you make love handles? Oh, wow. So I heard, I don't know for sure if it's true, but I heard that the brain is made of mostly fat. It's like, put it in there, stupid. Put it where I need it. Ooh. It's a little slick. Wow. Yeah, very slippery. Muddy, slippery. So it said short, it didn't say start earlier. Short, this is where the short one would have came out. This is the long came out. We're headed to intersection D, as in David. D as in David Jackson. 444 means a guardian angel is watching over you. From a numerology perspective. David Jackson had some, and still has some guardian angel qualities to him. I'm sure there's a lot of them, so you can try to figure out which one I'm talking about. And you won't be able to guess his culture based on his last name, by the way. Okay, we're going to take a look at the map. Okay, yep, now we're going to go parallel to where we came from. You can see the trail down there where we came from. I pointed that out earlier. Ooh, very muddy, very deep mud, slippery. Wow. Wow, yeah, this mud is crazy, and it's a nice slant too. Whoa, wow. Wow. You could actually hurt yourself if you're not careful. I have horrible balance. Okay, wow. Yeah, it's a little cray. Alright, so I'm just looking for things to hold on to. You notice how the rain picks up too? And then the airplane flies overhead. Well, the rain's really coming down now. This is one of the moments where God is like, you remember what you said earlier? How do you feel about that now? Well, I'm quintupling down, you dunce. That's how I feel about it. I meant every syllable. Got the loud, annoying airplane. Got the slant with the ice. Just life being just a dirty little villain. All right, there we go. They say that when life sucks, it makes other parts of life more rewarding. I don't agree with that. I think when life sucks, it's because God is a failure. I believe in just telling God what you really feel, you know. And 99% of people will just clutch their pearls and, oh, how dare you, oh my God. He knows what you feel in your heart. He knows everything. To be honest, I wish I didn't even think he was real, to be honest. I say that all the time to my brother-in-law. I wish I didn't know God was real, because it probably make me less bitter. But hopefully that's what this experience is all about in life, and I'll grow through it. I'll grow out of it, become stronger. Everything's peaceful now. So it's a lot like life. Things get tough at times, everything starts coming at you, and it calms down and you can enjoy it. But I think I would enjoy it like this all the time. Maybe I wouldn't. I think it all comes down to boredom. God is just bored. Like, you'd be bored if you were immortal and you could do anything. So you gotta be really clever and creative. Even if it means tormenting yourself, I guess. I don't know what this means. Another airplane and a car. So this can get a little crazy here because of the drop. And there's a slope up here. You try to get away from the ice so you don't slide in casually. And then there's a slope so the mud will get you. So I'm gonna have to be on guard here. This is where having walking sticks would help. When I was planning about this hike, I wasn't sure what to expect really for snow and ice. I didn't really consider ice, ironically, which I should have. I was more considering like the snow aspect. So now it's really coming down, the rain is. And I'm thinking I should probably put on the rain over jacket. Yeah, maybe not. The pack is covering, and the chest rig is covering for the most part. And I'll just sweat. My legs are feeling okay though, thankfully. I thought they were going to be a lot more sweatier with the rain over Gore-Tex. I do wish I brought an extra tank top though. All right, it's a little steep with the ice here. airplanes are a little more frequent than I would like. Alright, so the pack and the boonie hat are going to get fully seasoned on this one. Yeah, I might have to whip out that rain over jacket. It's a little too serious. Yeah, I'm gonna do it right here. Okay. I don't have a Gore-Tex rain over jacket yet, but I'm kind of watching for one on eBay. Those ones are a little harder to come by, like a new one, not a used one. And even then, you're probably looking at close to $100 for it, which is almost, it's about 60% more than the rain over pants, the trousers. So those are more practical to purchase. All right, I got it on there. Didn't zip it up all the way. Whew. It was raining a little more than I would have liked, but it's all right. I was ready for it, obviously. I'm gonna do something I never do here. See how it works. I see people doing that all the time. Like, they'll put the phone in front of their face and then they'll like they'll do like a duck bill with their lips. It's like, oh God, get over your, how come everyone can't just get over themselves? So I like this area over here. Like, everyone has to be in their pictures. They have to see themselves in their picture. And that's just so disgusting. It's like, why? So that when you die and someone's cleaning out your house, someone you don't know gets to throw away your photos? It's just so lame. I guess doing that, what I'm doing now is kind of the cousin of that anyways, I guess. But it's just something about it. It's just the way they smile and the way the look on their face. Like they're so proud to have their face in another picture. It's like, just take a picture of something that you're looking at. You don't have to be in it. Oh God, please, you don't have to be in it all the time. Oh. Even God, he's probably looking down every time he sees it and he's like, I really need to make the time to fix this problem with people. But he just doesn't do it. It's essentially ego. It's all ego. The false ego, as it were. All right. Getting a really nice kind of nature smells in here, like a springy, early spring smell. Mmm. Nature. There's some kid from Iraq that subbed to me, and I checked out one of his videos even though I couldn't really understand the language, though I had closed captioning on. And he's just doing his thing, you know, I just having fun. That was kind of cool. I'd like to give him a shout out. I can't say his name or anything. I guess I could do this. He did like a camp trip with his buddies and like a nature hike tent, and they made some kind of dinner. It was kind of a lavish dinner. I'm not sure what it's called, but they like ripped up flatbread and like topped it on. It was like a stew type thing. It didn't look appealing to me at all, but once they started topping it on and it was cooked and they started eating it, I started getting hungry for it, even though I had no idea what it was. But it took them a long time to get that going. One of his buddies was just fanning the flames on the fire. They didn't really have ideal wood for a fire. They're working with what they had, and man, they really had to put in a lot of effort, keep those flames and coals stoked. It was kind of a longer video. Nothing like mine. Mine are insane. Yeah, watch the whole video, and yeah, he's gonna, if he keeps doing that, he's gonna grow pretty well. His skills are gonna grow. I could just tell. This life throws him a curveball, and you never know. Really nice area here. These planes are really, really unreasonable. A lot of state parks, they have like a smaller airport near them, and there's like a little plane that'll fly over. You'll hear a little plane flying over. And it's just so irritating. There's one smaller airport called a Flying Cloud Airport, and I wish I could front kick everyone who works there in the throat, because they made my life miserable when I lived by there. Absolutely miserable. Every time I heard them, it's horrible. But let's forget about that. I like a switchback kind of thing here. There's got to be a way to make airplanes quieter, you know. There's just got to be a way. There's one guy I used to work with. He was pretty smart. He had a high IQ. You could just tell by talking to him. And he was like, I said the same thing to him, and he was like, well, you can't because this reason, a lot of dog. Started dropping all these facts, and I'm like, man, I don't care what the obstacle is. We need to overcome that. Airplanes are annoying. We need to break the laws of physics to overcome this problem. Let's see. Choose your fate. Whoo. And then deep mud. Whoo. This would probably be a really fun one in the summer. Be kind of cool if they had like, I don't know, maybe 3 remote campsites around in this vicinity of the park. Afton's pretty loaded though with camp spots. The campground, it can get pretty crowded, though they are spaced apart fairly well. I think Afton is kind of more popular, like the college crowd as well. So that's always a turd in the punch bowl. College kids are some of the worst groups of people. There's some pretty bad groups of people, so they're definitely not at the top of the list. But every time I see like a group of college kids, I'm like, oh, ick. Just try to avoid them. Just don't go near them. Just stay away from them. I guess I harped on that enough already. Have you ever seen a state park sign facing that way? I'm surprised we didn't see that by the private property sign when we were over there. The raindrops on my glasses are kind of good camouflage for floaters, so you don't notice them as much. It makes everything hard to see though. So we should be closing in on them, on the camper cabins, the yurts, and the group camps here pretty soon. So what I'm going to do is, when I get to that area, I'm gonna edit it, and then I'll edit back in when we resume this hike, which won't be much left of it. We'll just kind of go back to where we started for the most part, and put a bow on it. But I'm gonna do a separate, dedicated video for the camper cabins, yurts, and group camps. There's 2 group camps, and there's 2 yurts. And there's like 4 or 5 camper cabins, roughly. Pretty close quarters. And there were some people there, but the ones that doesn't have any people, we're gonna walk around them, kind of stalk them a little. The empty ones. We're gonna keep a nice distance from the ones that are inhabited. There's a guy on YouTube called Stinkleberry Farmer, and he did a couple camp videos at this state park. And I'm pretty sure one of them was a yurt. One of the yurts we're about to see. Well, in that scout video, not in this one. But these will be next to each other for published dates. So it's probably gonna be the one before or after this one. Not sure yet. Going up that hill there, starting to sweat. The rain is calmer. It's still pretty persistent. Getting like a Gorillas in the Mist vibe. You know, I never saw that movie, and hopefully I never will, and I'm pretty sure that that's a good choice. Like the lead character in that movie is like, I've seen like 1 million of that archetype, like on 61 in Duluth and in Minneapolis. It's just the same regurgitated smug archetype, and I don't need to deal with that. I actually don't even watch movies anymore, so it doesn't even matter. It's just fun to talk about. There's Afton Alps. We're making our way back, so we are really close. Camper cabins, yurts, and group camp. There's 2 group camps. Sunset's at 6. My buddy Nate North he was rapping once, and that was in one of his most famous raps. Sunset's at 6. The last time the sun set at 6 for me was Halloween of 2025. And ironically, I was doing a hike at the Big Bog Boardwalk. at Big Bog State Recreation Area in Hastings, Minnesota. I was in the northern unit, and that is right to the northeast of Upper Red Lake. And my buddy I just mentioned, he's actually from, his family's from Red Lake, like Red Lake Nation. So now the sun sets at 6 again, Nate. He's one of my really good buddies. I'll have him in my heart by forever. So we're going to want to make sure to have this in the bag, as Kenny of all trades would say, before 6. Suppose we can go a little after. We should be all right. And that pizza joint I talked about earlier, they don't close until 10 allegedly. Oh, one of my pant legs is coming up. That's not good. Yeah, these are the long Gore-Tex ones too, and it's still, pant leg still came up. Oh, it's so irritating. If I get the next size up, they're just too baggy. Yeah, I better keep moving though. Whew. You know, the rain, it always finds a way to get on the inside part of my glasses. It's really irritating. Oh, it's really cool over back here. Wow, that fog and that mist is really cool. All right, we're almost at the D intersection. So it's just, we're gonna keep straight. We're gonna cut through the intersection, and that's gonna bring our shortcut to the camper cabins, etc. There's an interpretive trail loop on the way back. It's about half a mile. I doubt we'll have the time for it, but yeah, it's there. I'm not sure. There might have a horse camp here at Afton, but I'm not sure. So this might be some kind of a bike path right here. All right, so we're right here. We're going to take this trail, cut over here where the camper cabins is, in this area here. Camper cabins, yurts, group camps. I might have to take these glasses off. This is just, benefit isn't outweighing the cost. Ah. I better put the balaclava on to keep the hat hunkered in better. You don't want the hat to jiggle. It's not a good mix of movement. Try to get the muscle memory for how I position the camera on my head here. Alright. Yeah, my floaters are really bad. So there's something going on. I saw an eye doctor a couple years ago. They said, oh, everything looks fine. I see your floaters. Those are normal. And I saw 2 of them. I got a second opinion. All of them are like, oh, no, those are perfectly normal. It's not normal. It's weird. They're so extreme. I'm surprised they weren't like, whoa, you got some big ones though. They should have at least said that, you know. But in an act of desperation, while on my break at work the other day, I just did a search on floater removal, and it looks like there is some kind of like laser, non-invasive laser therapy where they can kind of dissolve them. If they're not good with the laser, it can hit your retina, and you just want to make sure you're not getting a chintzy doctor. And they said if that doesn't work, sometimes they do a more invasive one where they drain out all the liquid in your eye and they replace it with some kind of saline, which I don't think I'll ever do that. And they said there's a risk of infection with that, and yeah, I'm good. You know how like some compasses have like an air bubble in it? Yeah, something like that. I'm good. The laser might be on the docket for consideration. Same, it's like outpatient, so I think that means like it doesn't suck too bad and you can leave the same day or something. You probably need to get someone to drive for you. You'd probably be real sensitive to light, which I already am, so there wouldn't be no change there. And it also mentioned that sometimes they do dissolve over time. Wouldn't that be nice? Well, if I didn't have these floaters, it'd be a total game changer. So we actually wanted that other road actually that went back up there. So I'm gonna have to just for the sake of time, I'm gonna forsake that other path that I thought I was on here. And we're gonna do a little road work. Sometimes on the road I'll cut forward. I'll do time-lapse cuts to jump ahead, but we're basically going to wherever that gate is. So I'll just do that now, and if something happens, I'll just bring it in. So see you there. All right, we're back. I took a picture of that sign for the scout video. In the scout video, I show the drive in here, but for this hike, I'm gonna show the hike in. See which part of the trail we're gonna take to get out of here. So the trail that we actually wanted that road that I went off of. We went around. So that's the one that we want to hop on to head back towards the parking area. We will not have time for that interpretive trail loop. I'm starting to get pain in my lower left hip, hamstring too. That's a reoccurring thing now this year. All right, so we're gonna cut here for the hike, and I'm gonna do the scout, and then we're gonna cut back here and finish off the hike. So see you in like 30 minutes or so. Okay, so I just finished the scout of the group camps, the camper cabins, and the yurts here at Afton State Park. We're picking up on this hike. Just a little bit left. We're gonna put a bow on it. We're actually not resuming where I showed you where we left off. We're actually going to resume over here because there's actually a trail right in here. So we're just jumping to this part with a map here. We're gonna meander our way back to the parking area and put a bow on it. So that scout was okay. Unfortunately, there was a lot of people there, which is really annoying. And what made it even worse is that there was Wisconsin plates and Iowa plates. And it's just so annoying. It's just so annoying. I guarantee you there isn't one state park in either of those states that has any Minnesota plates in it, and probably very few Minnesota plates driving on their highways, beating on their roads like we see here in Minnesota. We're already like an open border sanctuary state, so we're already kind of like, we're already getting pummeled in like every direction on earth. So if you guys can just stay in your state, please, if you guys can just mitigate the amount of times you come to Minnesota, please, you'd really be doing your part. You'd really be doing your part. And I'll continue on with Wisconsin also. So if I were to accidentally find myself driving in Wisconsin and I were to get pulled over for whatever reason, and I were to get a ticket, if I could not pay for that ticket right then and there, they would take me to jail, literally. But we have open borders, open roads in Wisconsin. Wisconsinites, they're constantly in Minnesota, driving all the time, using our roads, and they don't have to go straight to jail. And given that if we're from Minnesota, I think because we're so open border to Wisconsin and letting them come here and camp here and just really beat on our roads with their cars, vehicles, they don't have to pay for the tabs like we do. I think Minnesotans, if you have Minnesota plates, you should get a pass. You should be able to mail in your ticket. So, just putting that out there. And if you're from Wisconsin or Iowa, stay in your state. Do not come to Minnesota. Stay in your state. This is a really beautiful area right here with the fog. So it's actually a little bit of a hike back, and I don't have a headlamp. I should probably pick it up a little here as it's getting dark. And it's still a mist coming down, the rain. So I still got the rain over on, pants and jacket. And I'm pretty wet in the upper body. The legs, though, is my main importance. And of course the feet, which are perfectly fine. Even though my pant leg kept coming up. It's really irritating because they're the long ones and I don't know what the deal is. I should probably just find a way to clip them in so they stay down. That'll just make it harder to take my boots off though. So I kind of shying away from doing that. Yeah, it's gonna get pretty dim here. It's alright, I'm gonna keep going. Gonna put in an order for that pizza, head home, pick it up and head home. This might get a little ridiculous without a headlamp actually. I do have a light on the body cam. It's really not, it doesn't do much. But if you have nothing, it does a lot. So here it would be enough. And there are a lot of coyotes in this state park. I'm not worried about them though. because I have a lot of pent-up rage from people that really drive me mad. So I'll be able to unleash that pent-up rage. I've been saying to myself, I wish I could see a coyote, because I've only heard them since I started camping. I've only heard them. I've never seen one. Like, as far as I'm concerned, it's like they're basically just a sound effect in the woods. Never seen them. I might have seen one on my first camp trip that I thought was a dog. I thought it was somebody's dog. And that might have been a coyote, because later that night there was a lot of loud coyotes right by me. And that scared the crap out of me, because it was my first camp trip. But Afton State Park, I'm not worried here. I'm not taking that for granted and being naive, but it's not a place I really worry. It's become a little bit of my stomping ground, really. And now that I've been to these portions of the park during this hike, I have a lot of it covered. A lot of this park's covered. One of my favorite hikes here, though, is the one along the river, along the St. Croix, which is the, see if I can find it, the North River Trail right here. Really like that one. Let's see where I'm at here. Up here, so I'll just keep going straight. This will curve around. You should be stumbling upon a couple outlooks as well. Oh, my shoulders are starting to get sore. I'm gonna hunker down that sternum strap. If you got a pack and like your shoulder, your neck, your traps get sore, you can take off the sternum strap for a while, and then when you get sore like that, after a while you start feeling sore in the upper body, then put the sternum strap back on and tighten it up. You can kind of rotate doing that every 20 minutes, and that'll help you keep going, rather than just keeping the shoulder straps on in the same position. That can get really uncomfortable and unbearable after a while, so it's good to just pivot with the sternum strap, which is the chest strap. Have it clamped and tight, have it loose, or just have it completely off and let the shoulder straps kind of hang back and let the air open up in your back, between the pack and your back. As long as you remember to keep doing that, you'll be able to go longer, further distance. So this might be one of the outlooks. Sunset's at 6. Yep, outlook number 1 from this perspective. Gotta keep it moving, it's getting dark. That scout I just did wasn't one of the best ones, mainly because I was kind of rushing through it for the daylight purpose. And maybe I shouldn't have tried to squeeze in the hike with it at the same day, but I just felt ambitious. But also that there's too many people there. It's just, I really didn't think that'd be the case. And it just makes it more annoying when you see like they're not even from the state. I just don't understand that at all. And I mean, sure, they're paying money to be here. I don't care. I don't care. Please just stay in your own state, please. I know there's like a lot of, I don't want to get too, hate to get political, as Norm Macdonald would say, but I know that there's like Republicans in Wisconsin and Iowa that are not for open borders. If you hold that stance, do not come to Minnesota. Please do not come to this state. Please. It is so annoying. I'm kind of more of a closed border guy myself. I take it to a further level though, where I don't even want people from out of state to be here. It really bothers me. It's just so annoying. And again, it's just I'm not really a people person, so I just kind of feel like I'm suffocating always around people. So when I see that more people are piling in that aren't even from around here, it just makes it really difficult to bear. But yeah, just talking about stuff. Every part of this park we've been to today, other than the parking area, I haven't been to yet. I've been coming here since early spring of 2022. So it's probably 4 years this month. Just seems like longer than that. Seems like 6 years. Yeah, I don't think I came here in 2021. No, I don't think I did. I was still doing urban hiking in 2021. Just kind of getting familiar with wearing a pack and walking around and in my neighborhood. And it was early 2022 is when I finally got the courage to get out here, check out regional parks, state parks, etc. Oh, so you can see Afton Alps in the distance. Afton Alps. The main road's up here. So we're going to continue along this trail that goes alongside the road. Actually doesn't, the road's up down there more. So we're veering off. And it's the prairie restoration areas over there. So we're on the other side when I called that out earlier in the hike. So we'll just do a little more weaving. So we're probably 15 minutes away, putting an official bow on it, per se. I kind of hope it's going to look like this on St. Patrick's Day when I do my Scout of William O'Brien. I doubt it will though. Usually God likes to make it really bright and sunny most of the time, which is, I really hate that. I wish we had more days that look like this, but it's usually just jet blue skies, piercing bright sun, just painfully bright sun. And then even when I hold my head down and look down, there's a puddle that the sun reflects off of into my face. I just can't get away from the sunlight. It's just so painful, it hurts. I really wish there was more days like this. And I can't see my floaters as well either when it's like this. Now that it's getting really dim out and dark, that's when the floaters really start to be more difficult to notice. And my stress really starts to dissipate. My anxiety, frustration kind of dissolves with the visibility of the floaters. A lot of my stress and anxiety is tied to being tormented by the floaters interfering with my vision always. It's extraordinarily stressful and scary. It's scary too. So for a while in my life, I always said to myself, what would you rather lose if you had to lose one? If you had to pick one, your hearing or your vision? And I'd always have a hard time with saying my hearing because I really like music. But you know what? My hearing is becoming more sensitive. I notice everything. and you really need your vision to be able to see what you're doing and where you're going, and you need it to drive. So I would definitely rather lose my hearing than my vision. Definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. And at this point in my life, it'd actually be a blessing if that happened. I would, if I could get rid of my floaters and guarantee just the level of vision I have now with no floaters for the rest of my life, I'd say take my hearing, God, please. But God's a bit of a leprechaun, so he has a really sick way of granting wishes. It's good to get dark while it's getting dark, you know what I mean? This is the other outlook. No, it isn't. We're not there yet, but this is kind of an outlook here. There's a little table there too. Oh, my left pant leg hasn't come up again. It's trying. You know, my left leg has been hurting when I walk, so I'm starting to think the way I walk with my left leg, something's up with it. And I do have a limp when I walk. A lot of people think I do it on purpose to try to look cool or try to look like a gangster or a pimp. That is not why I do that. There's been a lot of times in my life where people, they've seen me coming and they'll start imitating my walk and they'll laugh at me. Because I assume they think that I'm doing it on purpose to try to look cooler. I don't know. But it's just like it's just like rubbing my face in excrement. You know, when people do stuff like that, it's just really painful because it already hurts when I walk, and but just people are just so oblivious sometimes. It's starting to get a little creepy out here. A couple times now I thought I saw glowing eyes through the trees there, which I would welcome. I would welcome that. This world is so serious and cruel and evil. There's no magic in it at all. If I saw some kind of creature with glowing eyes, that would just make my day. It would change my life outlook. Make me think God actually has some creativity in him. It would give me hope. I used to believe in like ghosts and aliens, just because I kind of Sasquatch, just because I kind of believe the stories. But the more you're out here, maybe I'm just not out deep enough, you know. It's good to be back here though. 24 hours ago I didn't know I was going to be here right now. So this is what I call one of those ad hoc decisions that I make during the year sometimes. And this was a good one. It's technically the first ad hoc decision I've made this year. So far so good. A couple weeks ago though, I did a scout. I already mentioned it at the backpack sites at Cipher-Tu State Park, just south of Lake Mille Lacs. Almost on Lake Mille Lacs, but it's not. That was a really good one. I'm still backed up on editing footage from 2025 as far as this date and time is concerned on the timestamp here. Right now I'm editing the Red River State Recreation Area Scout, the campground there, which is one of the worst campgrounds I've ever been at. It's absolutely horrible. It's in East Grand Forks too, so it's like in the middle of like a big little city. It makes no sense to me. I guess it's kind of a good, it's mainly better for like RVs really, but there are some walk-in sites there. It's just they're not conveniently located, and you'd have to walk kind of far from your vehicle, so they're more cart-in sites than walk-in sites, and there's no carts. Just as I do this more and get more experience as far as what I've seen, that's just how I critique it based on what I've observed so far. Really cool out here. Really cool. Like Ireland. I've never been there. It's just kind of what I expect to see if I went to Ireland on St. Patrick's Day. I'd expect to see a night like this. Ireland appears to be losing its sovereignty as well, like every other country, which is a controlled, planned effort by the loser parasites that have power, which is really unfortunate, especially for God, because He allows it. Amen. It's good to get dark when it's getting dark out. It's got something magical about that. Also, there was an outlook back there, so that was an outlook, I think. Interpretive trails right here. So this is an interpretive trail loop right in here. It's right in a prairie here, it looks like. So interpretive is when there's like a lot of literature that you can read and it explains things to you. I got several videos where I bake that in. I take pictures of it and show you what it says. Like my scout of Old Mill State Park. Towards the end we take a look at the Larson Mill. And also a Big Bog State Recreation Area, the Big Bog Boardwalk. A lot of interpretive literature on that one. I did a little bit of it towards the end of the scout at Hayes Lake State Park as well. So yeah, those are all good scouts of those campgrounds. And I got a scout of the Big Bog State Recreation Area campground as well, which is one of the worst campgrounds I've ever seen. Although this Red River State Recreation Area might be worse. They're both horrible, to be honest. But the Red River State Recreation Area would be okay if you have an RV. It'd be kind of cool, because it's like an RV community. So this, I'm not sure what this is. This has got to be the visitor center right here. I think it is. The picture of a family holding hands. Let's see what that means. Picture of a family holding hands. I don't see it. Oh, visitor center. Right here. There it is. Visitor center. We made it. And this is where we started. Towards the parking area of the visitor center. So we're getting ready to put a bow on it. Yeah, I'm glad you were here with me. Hope this kept you some company. Hope you learned from it, maybe. Hope you didn't mind my rhetoric. Hopefully you agreed with all of it, too. If you did, let me know. If you agreed with everything I said, let me know. Because that would give me hope for the future. If you disagreed with anything or everything that I said, you are not unique or creative. You are one of many. You are a drop of water in a planet that's just an ocean. A planet that's still the size of Earth. In the false model, of course. Of course, space is real, which it isn't. Oh, this is really cool. Man. That's a really nice sign. It's really plush. The gloss on it as well. Might even make some kind of sounds. Some kind of electrical device on it. It says touch to learn more. No, touch. Touch this? I don't know. Can't figure it out. Okay. magical. This is the awesome parking area for the backpack campground. I think I walked maybe 4 miles at work. Yeah, 4.3. We're at 11.2. Oh, so we're over 7 miles. I'm going to say when this is done, it'll be about 7.5 miles. Hiking the Scout. Yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed this to a certain extent. If it helped you in any way, let me know. I'd really appreciate that. It would mean a lot to me. Yeah, but after I finish editing the Red River State Recreation Area campground, after that I'm going to start editing the footage that I have for Frontenac State Park near Red Wing, Minnesota. And that's going to be a scout of the Cardin campground. It's also a scout of the main campground. And we even take a look at Inyanteopa Rock, I believe it's called. So yeah, I'll leave you this magical moment. Take care.